See, the universe is nothing more than an excessive creation. An excessive creation of everything. And everything that will ever materialize. And, yeah, magic is everything. What do you think magic is, other than a sustainer of all life within itself, but also a growing infinity with all that is to be, with all that is to ever be created. And there's a lot of argumentation on a supernatural deity, or God, but there's also the argument that there is no God. So you can never really know how far you go, even if there is an afterlife. What if the afterlife is just your subconscious mind of your own desires, and you're trapped in there forever? But, you don't know. Nobody ever really knows for sure. But life in all of the universe tends to all be created from the same pool. And it's the pool of all life in the galaxy. And that pool, you can imagine it as a purple pool filled with purple monster drink or whatever, or dyed, or purple dye, you know, like that. And I'm sorry, I just wanted to make a quick comment here. I got that idea from my friend's graduation party. He put purple dye in his swimming pool. And eventually, life within itself is a continuation of existence until the lack thereof, or anti-life, death. And there can be something sacred about death. I mean, why else would the saint Santa Muerte exist if there wasn't some sort of beauty in death? The entire culture of the Day of the Dead is based off of the skeleton or the skull, all of that type of stuff, and also the spiritual procession that happens here in my town every year. I think it's called, I know it's called the procession, or spiritual procession, or ascension procession. But I wanted to get to the main points. All life comes from the same source, and we are all made out of genetic material. If you don't know what genetic material is, then go back to biology class, because I'm not going to make a video trying to be sound inspiring about something like the genetics of the human body, even though it is empty at times, because it's only like 10% active or 6% active, but it could be endless. An endless form of creating shapes within a womb, within a birthing center for the creation within itself of the yoni, inside the yoni. But get this, I just wanted to say this because I saw this in science fiction, but it sounds very true. A lot of things in science fiction tends to actually happen later on, but they were talking about at the end of the days you come to this supernatural deity at the end here, and they talk about the gene pool, and how the gene pool is basically a pool of all genetics to create everything in existence. So that tends to be beautiful, in my honest opinion, because it's a gene pool. It's where all life comes from. But there's a lot of stuff, man. A lot of stuff inside of video games, movies that are all sci-fi, that tend to be inspired by a reality. But if you want to know, in the video game at the end here, the explanation as to this plot device of this destruction of all of civilization, is basically to find a way to fix the genetic pool of all creation. Juan Ponce de Leon, he tried to find the fountain of youth, and that idea can go very far. What if the fountain of youth is just a fountain of genetics, and it restabilizes the genetic core? Scientists are already figuring things out. How the genetics can be renewed or stopped to aging. They can stop the genetics from aging, and yeah, you can live forever. So think about the fountain of youth being the gene pool of all of creation. And you've got a very, very, very solid point that even if there is a God, everything in religious scripture is a pale imitation of the real thing. And I just wanted to bring that up, if there really is a God, or if science negates the need for a God. That's also a big possibility. But I wanted to get huge into that because there's something beyond the known and into the unknown that makes the entire human race kind of small. And that's what I wanted to say. And it's true, we are trapped in this mortal vessel. And probably the closest thing to truth would be the books by Eliphas Levi. Is you either can go two ways. You can go this way and escape the flesh and find immortality or a bigger essence within yourself, to the contrast to the universe. Or you can go downward in the inverted satanic pentagram and become trapped in your mortal flesh, which can be a way for you to enjoy life and enjoy everything that has been in creation for aeons and aeons and aeons. But you will never know what the afterlife is, or what heaven is, or what hell is, or Hades, or the underworld, or the pagan heaven, or if that exists. You will never really know. But the truth might actually be as simple as that. You might be trapped inside your own mind, reliving, or actually finding out your own subconscious will and having that as an eternal reality. That could actually be a thing, is your subconscious will and your subconscious desires and your subconscious being becomes your desired reality for all of eternity, until you are reincarnated, if reincarnation actually exists as well.